What's going on, guys, and welcome to the complete beginner's guide to Overwatch. Over the next few minutes, we're going to be taking a look at everything from heroes to maps and game modes, as well as a whole ton of tips and tricks to help you get the edge on your enemy. If you're already familiar with some of these areas, I'll have a complete index in the description so you can skip to the area that's most important for you. But without further ado, let's meet the heroes. At its release, Overwatch has 21 playable heroes. These heroes are divided into 4 separate groups: offense, defense, tank, and support. Offense heroes are mobile and deal high amounts of damage, but they have relatively small health pools. They excel at scouting and harassing enemies, as well as pressing objectives. Defensive heroes specialize in locking down specific areas and protecting key objectives. They generally are capable of dealing high amounts of damage and form the backline of their team. Tanks have the largest health pools of all the heroes and are often also equipped with abilities which allow them to protect their allies from incoming damage. However, their larger player models make them an easy target for the enemy. Finally, support heroes assist and buff their team through a variety of abilities. They are, however, poorly matched in 1v1 fights and need to be protected by their team. While these roles give you a general idea for the characteristics of each hero, they are by no means absolute, and each hero is capable of fulfilling a variety of different playstyles. You can also change between heroes throughout the match, and finding the correct team composition is absolutely critical. We'll talk more about how to do this later in the video. Each hero in Overwatch is extremely unique, and they're all equipped with their own set of weapons and abilities. Most heroes in Overwatch have one basic attack, 2 standard abilities, and 1 ultimate ability, although there are exceptions. Each hero also has a melee attack which deals 35 damage. Most standard abilities also have a cooldown which must be reset before they can be used again. Ultimate abilities, however, must be charged before they can be used. Ultimate charge is gained slowly over time and also by dealing damage or healing allies. Your ultimate charge is also not lost on death. I won't be going into detail on every hero ability in this video, but I will be releasing individual hero guides on this channel over the coming weeks, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to check those out. Now we're going to take a look at one of the more unique aspects of Overwatch, which are health, armor, and shields. Depending on what hero you play as, you'll spawn with a varying combination of these 3 elements, and additional shields and armor can also be acquired from certain hero abilities. In combat, these 3 elements function in layers, with shields being removed first, then armor before damage is finally dealt directly to your health pool. Once your health reaches 0, your hero dies. Shields are represented by the blue area on your health bar, and they function in a very similar manner to health. However, they also regenerate after not taking damage for 3 seconds. Shields can also be replenished through healing from allied heroes or from health packs. Once your shields are depleted, damage is then dealt to your armor. Armor is designated by the yellow area on your health bar and takes damage at a reduced rate. Depending on the source of the damage, armor will remove around 5 damage from each attack, meaning it is extremely effective against fast-firing heroes like Tracer and less effective against large single instance damages like Widowmaker. Armor can also be broken down into 2 types, which is natural armor, which consists of armor heroes spawn with, and given armor from abilities like Torbjorn's armor pack. Natural armor can be healed, given armor can't. Finally, once your shields and armor are depleted, damage is dealt directly to your health pool. Health, designated by the white bar, functions just like it does in almost any other game. It can be healed by both health packs and supporting hero abilities, but it will not regenerate on its own, with the exception of Mercy. Now you know all about the different hero roles and abilities, let's take a look at some key factors to help you dominate your games. The single most important factor to winning rounds in Overwatch is hero selection. Regardless of skill, the team that starts with an intelligent team composition and then continues to adapt those hero choices throughout the game will almost always come out on top. Your team should generally try and consist of a diverse spread of hero roles, with at least 1 healer and 1 tank on each team. Pay attention to the tips section of the hero selection screen, and if your team is missing a key hero role, consider filling that yourself. You should also change and adapt your team composition throughout each game in response to the enemy team's hero choices. While it does take some time to learn, each hero both counters and can in turn be countered by other heroes, just like a game of scissors, paper, rock. Let's take a look at Genji, Bastion, and Winston as an example. Genji is a powerful counter to Bastion, as his high mobility allows him to flank behind and attack Bastion's vulnerable core, while he can also reflect Bastion's high damage cannon back at him for an easy kill. Meanwhile, Winston is a great counter to enemy Genjis. His lightning cannon can't be deflected, and his leap ability lets him chase Genji down before he can escape. And finally, Winston's large hitbox makes him an easy target for Bastions, who can eliminate the high HP hero in a matter of seconds. This is just one example of the many scissors paper rock relationships which exist between heroes in Overwatch. Learning these counters and changing heroes to counter the enemy team's composition will give you an incredible edge to win your games. Two other important gameplay elements which are key to winning your fights in Overwatch are headshots and health packs. Like many shooters, Overwatch has a headshot function, and scoring a headshot in Overwatch will deal double damage, and will also trigger a unique headshot hit sound. Almost all weapons in Overwatch are capable of scoring headshots, from Widowmaker's sniper to Tracer's pulse pistols, with some obvious exceptions like Pharah's rockets. While dealing bonus damage through headshots will help you win your fights, it's also equally important to try and stay topped up on health at all times. When there are no supports around, health packs are the best way to stay topped up on health throughout the game. Health packs have a set spawn location in every map, with small health packs restoring 75 HP each, and large health packs restoring 250 HP. These packs will respawn a short time after being used, and knowing the location of these packs is extremely important, especially when playing flanking heroes. Overwatch has 4 core game modes: Escort, Assault, Hybrid, and Control maps. In Escort, the attacking team attempts to push a payload to the final capture point, while the defensive team attempts to hold them back until time expires. The payload will move whenever allied heroes are around it, and its speed will increase for every additional hero within its range, up to a maximum of 3. In Assault, the attacking team sets out to capture several objective points in a certain order. Points are captured by standing next to the objective area. Meanwhile, the defenders must try to keep the attacking team off the objective and stop points from being captured until time runs out. Some maps combine both Escort and Assault to create a hybrid map, in which the attacking team must first capture an objective point, after which the payload is released and they must push it through to the final capture point. And finally, Control maps have 3 stages, in which teams fight to control a single stationary point for a set amount of time. These maps are played as a best of 3 or as a best of 5 in competitive mode. Both point capture and payload and hybrid maps have a setup time at the start of each round, during which the attackers cannot leave spawn and defenders can prepare for the enemy attack. Now we've talked about the various heroes, modes, and how they all function, we're going to finish off this introductory guide with some general tips which should give you a real edge on your opponents. First up, let's talk ultimate saving. One of the most common mistakes made by both beginners and experienced players alike is to save your ultimate, waiting for that perfect scenario where you can wipe the entire enemy team. While ultimates are extremely important and certainly shouldn't be wasted, they can also be charged relatively quickly. Don't hesitate to use your ultimate ability even if the scenario isn't perfect. Most classes are able to charge their ultimates in less than a minute, and frequent regular use will have a much more disruptive impact on the enemy team than getting a single and great team wipe once throughout the game. Another key factor in winning your fights is focusing supports. Support heroes in Overwatch have incredibly powerful team buffs and ultimates. Most of them are, however, extremely easy to kill when isolated. In the heat of battle, it is almost always a good idea to focus supporting heroes first before turning your attention to their allies, as eliminating those key buffs and ultimates from the fight will often mean the difference between domination or getting dominated. We've already talked a lot about hero selection and team composition throughout this video, but I really want to reinforce just how important it is to change heroes throughout the game if your current character simply isn't working. Sometimes that will mean losing some already built up ultimate charge, but having a more appropriate team composition should always be your number one concern. Optimizing your in-game settings to fit your personal playstyle is also a must. While many in-game settings are very much a matter of personal preference, it is almost always advisable to have your in-game kill feed turned on, as well as having your FOV set to the maximum of 103, as both these settings will give you much more awareness in fights. And finally, always remember that Overwatch is a team game. Attempting to run in and capture objectives alone will almost always result in you being sent straight back to the spawn room. Communicate with your team to coordinate objective pushing, ultimate combos, and team composition, and your win rate will skyrocket. And that's it for this introduction to Overwatch guide. I'm going to be releasing more tutorials on this channel over the coming weeks, so make sure you're subscribed to check those out. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you, legends, on the battlefield. Bye-bye.